Hello, New Wave British Heavy Metal.com here, and today we have got, oh yes, the revenge of Alice Cooper, no less. Alice reunites the original band, and you know they come out swinging double time with their first album as this lineup since what, 1973 was it? Muscle of Love, I think, if I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you know we've got Alice together with Michael Bruce, Dennis Dunaway, and Neal Smith. Plus the late great Glen Buxton, as you can see from the cover there, is a inverted commas special appearance, and I think the guitar spot that appears on one of the tracks is from an old demo that Glen played on. And as you can see, the strap line at the bottom of there, it says the return album the world was afraid of. Well, brilliant, right? Brilliant. But what it is, before I tell you what it is, a little teeny favour, if you wouldn't mind clicking that little subscribe button, please, to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. Hundreds of videos all over the channel, you know, this just being one of them. So if you wouldn't mind, hit the little button. And, you know, what we got here, well, it's a glorious throwback, and it's got all those hallmarks of the early 1970 classics that we got from this lot, then that we know so well, but with a modern, fresh and upbeat feel about it. It's all delivered with like class and energy. We've got that semi-shock horror, creepy stuff. We've got pulsating stuff. It's a bit trippy sometimes. There's some blues boogie chucked in together with lyrics that are not always too serious and poking fun at various topics. And that just adds to it to me. It's, you know, typically Alice Cooper. The band's on fire too. Alice's vocals are menacing when they need to be, and you know there's only he can do it like that, isn't there? You know, Michael Bruce's guitar's great, punches away some wonderful solo work. Dennis Dunaway is such a fine bass player, you know, riffs and throbs and rumbles, so solid. And Neil drumming's always been great, hasn't it? And you know we've got it all here, all again. And you know, so sometimes you can look forward to something too much, can't you? And then you end up feeling let down, and it's a bit of an anticlimax. And you know, I guess there's a danger that you know, you might have felt like this here, that you've been looking forward to it for that long after hearing about it, only to think, well, what was all that all about? Well, that doesn't apply here. No. The anticipation is fully justified by the result. You know, The Revenge of Alice Cooper is an album which delivers on every level, and although I will temper that by saying a couple of the songs do take a few spins to get into, there's nothing really not to like. Nothing really not to like. How many double negatives is that? Anyway, what we got? Before that, you know, talking about things that took a while to get, a couple of examples there. The first I heard of Intergalactic Vagabond Blues. Yes, that really is the title. And What a Sid and What Happened to You. I thought they were just rather generic bluesy fillers until the penny drops, really. Musically, Black Mamba, such a glorious opener this is. That creepy spoken intro, eerie atmospheric song and vocal delivery, all quite sinister, nice groove to it. It'll make you think straight away of Black Widow. It's a fine opener. Wild Ones is next. Hard, heavy, fast, drives along relentlessly, huge chorus, lots of fun. Up All Night too, also fun, a little bit sleazy, and you know the bass rumbles away, really gets the stomach. Kill the Flies and One Night Stand give us some of that familiar tongue-in-cheek shock horror style rockers, and you know, sneering vocals from Alice. It's great stuff. Blood on the Sun, glorious trippy-ish two-parter, packing a lot into it. Particularly the second half, which has got some quite spectacular guitar work going on. That is a class song. The next three have Alex having a sarcastic rail against, well, all sorts of things, trying to make it in the music business, you know, the crap that gets in the way of your dreams. What a title. The fleeting nature of fame with Famous Face, and then, you know, money. Money Screams, all solid stuff, all lots of fun. Then comes What a Sid, and this took me a while to gel with me. I couldn't help thinking, listening to it, and probably you will too. I couldn't help thinking Cab Calloway on in Blues Brothers on the stage doing Min and Moocher from the Blues Brothers. That was there straight away. And of course, there's nothing wrong with the Blues Brothers. What a film! But not Blues Brothers 2000. Not a good film. But What a Sid just seemed out of place to me to begin with, as indeed did Intergalactic Vagabond Blues initially. I had it down as a throwaway generic filler until I got the joke. And What Happened to You and I Ain't Done Wrong, they're all right, steady without being spectacular. I think there is still a hint of filler on those two, and probably they could have been cut out just to drop it down from an hour or so running time to around about 45-50 minutes. Just my thought. I did wonder after What Happened to You and I Ain't Done Wrong, I did wonder if this point if Alice from the band were running out of steam, until See You on the Other Side came next. And this is a wonderful sweeping semi-ballad which closes out the album in fine style, and the lyrics are quite poignant, giving a bit of a nod to those we've lost, shall we say. So overall, bar the odd blip, as I've mentioned, this album, The Revenge of Alice Cooper, is an excellent showing from the man and the original band that have still got it. They've never lost it, and this is a fine return. And perhaps instead of that strapline being the return of the album the world was afraid of, perhaps it should have been the return album the world needs to listen to. It's great. So bar those two blips for me, can't fault it. Excellent stuff. Very welcome. I'll put a link to it as always in the description below, on Amazon, various formats available, so you can go and get it from there if you'd like to, though of course, as always, other outlets are available. So there we are, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. Marvellous stuff. Please do subscribe to the channel before you disappear if you wouldn't mind, because that would be marvellous. And until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and take care.